guys have any questions, ask away.
Yeah, you do.
I was talking with Paul this morning, and oh, he's so sweet. From Stan to you?
Yeah, not to you.
From me to Stan.
Oh, I could not see it.
No, here.
I see only.
There we go. Just for the moment. And traditionally, the way that non-duality is spoken about is through awareness and consciousness teachings. And he was saying, and he was laughing and saying, you're even destroying that. And I don't mean to be destroying that, but it's just that I can't teach you anything. All I can do is point back to what's happening. And actually, everything that I teach you, every word that comes out of my mouth, can't be it. And even consciousness. The question is, apparently yesterday when you were talking with Paul, everyone kept asking about consciousness and awareness. Where is consciousness now? It's just an idea that was trying to destroy other ideas of separation. And it's an easy way to say everything's consciousness. But actually, when I was talking with Paul this morning, another way in which consciousness is talked about is that consciousness isn't produced by the brain. Consciousness, everything is made of consciousness. You know what? I don't know. Maybe consciousness is produced by the brain. I don't know.
No, it's unaware.
But how do you know that? You only know.
So.
You only know that in thoughts. We could sit here and argue about it all day, about where consciousness comes from, but the only thing that's ever left is the experience. And the experience is always a big question mark. The only thing that's for sure also in the experience is that it's not separate. That's not a thought. In the actual experience, where there is no experience, in the actual experience.
So without consciousness there never would be any.
But that's a thought.
Yeah. You need consciousness. You need to be conscious of.
So how do you know that? I know this is exactly what Paul was saying to me this morning. It's so right, I'm already shit for speaking about it. But how do we know any of it? How can I teach you consciousness when I don't know that? I only know that in thoughts.
When you're not there,
I don't know, you have to
you know it.
Sorry?
I had once an experience long time ago but it was the perfect spot in India, and I was my whole life was very stressed in my head. But then there was a perfect moment. I was a sunset. I was sitting on the beach, and for a split second, I don't know how long, I was not there anymore. I was, and in that, but I have still a memory of that. I think it was a glimpse, and then I was in this. I think it was my natural state. It was so easy, so natural. It was so me, but not me as a me. But I was connected with everything, and it was only love. But then I came back on the beach. I thought it was just an experience, and I was thinking, oh shit, fuck, I'm back in. But when I was there, the me was not there, but I still have a memory. But that's not really awakening. Maybe it was a glimpse.
Perhaps, but in that moment of the glimpse,
I was not there anymore. I was in this. Was like. I don't know. It was not. I was not there. I was not in a body. Or I don't know how to express it. It was like oneness.
but now all you know about it is what you think about it. So now that's just a thought.
A memory? I don't know. I remember that split second when I was not there anymore. Yeah. But there was not two. I remember now, maybe that was fake. But it was not fake. But now I remember that I was not two. It was really...
Yeah.
Was no consciousness.
Again, with these words, you can never touch it or capture it. You're just pointing into a direction. You're trying to share something that's beyond. And so, of course, it's challenging and frustrating because the mind wants to understand. But at the same time, like you said, we're having all these experiences, and the mind naturally takes it and wants to do something with it. And this idea of consciousness, it's again a word pointing towards something. And
who can see consciousness?
Pardon?
Who can see consciousness?
Well, that's the thing. It's maybe noticed, experienced, but no one is experiencing it.
So how then would you know? So how then? And I'm not saying just with you. I'm just saying in general. How would we know that consciousness is it?
You don't, because there's a danger. For example, even non-spiritual people like a Marxist would say, there's a form of consciousness when you realise, how things are exploiting you. But the danger is once you have that insight, you can think, oh, this is it, and that forms another conclusion,
and then all we can ever talk about is what's actually happening. And what's actually happening is a question mark. We don't actually know. Do we know whether consciousness is produced by the brain or whether consciousness is everything?
No, it's not produced by the brain.
How do you know that, Gerard? How do you even know there's a brain in the body?
Ramana Maharshi.
Ramana Maharshi.
He's dead.
That was really good.
When I'm looking at it, I found out that even I thought, well, just look at what I am experiencing now. And I found out, kind of shocked by it, that even the nature of the experience itself, I never really look at it. It's just like I only see this part, and I relax and think, my God, it's even... I cannot even tell what happens, just in experience.
Yeah, you really can't. And there's so many assumptions that's been made.
Yeah.
Even consciousness, but you know what? In a new group of people, I most probably would start saying consciousness. It's so much easier for me to say that word. But even, we just do not know anything in the actual experience. And that's all really we can point back to. I can't really teach you anything in the positive. I could teach you things maybe that have been self-improvement or something like that, but that it might not even be self-improvement. The only thing that we can ever talk about in these talks is actually what's happening. The weirdest thing is it's not happening. It's not happening. Like even to say it's your experience or to say it's an experience, we're not sure. It all begins to just become a line, an endless question mark.
You mean because even to say it is a conclusion about something?
How do we know we're actually experiencing that? Only in thought. And we're questioning everything we think we know, including consciousness. But I will flop so easily and go back to consciousness. I'm so not stuck to destroying consciousness. But I don't even know. This morning when Paul was asking me, I was like, you know what? all these speakers have always said that consciousness doesn't come from the brain, that consciousness is the source of everything. I don't know that. Who fucking cares?
But Ramesh Bhattacharya is still in the same. And he says that it could not come alone.
Huh?
The brain could not come alone.
Well, yeah, the question is, what's the source of the brain? The thing that we just don't know, but the freedom is the not knowing, not the knowing. The freedom, when there's not anything known, then there's just not to. Even saying oneness you can't say, but not to, there's no separation.
But to have knowing or not knowing, yeah, there is conscious, and yeah, like if it's only this, or it's this is it, you're conscious of what's happening.
Are you?
Of the, in a way you're conscious of the chair,
Are we though? Or is that still a thought? Really, in the actual experience, doesn't everything begin to disappear?
Yeah.
Not disappear as in like imagine of what we disappearance means. Normally we imagine disappearing as nothing, like as like a. But are we actually? It makes sense when we speak about it to then start going back to consciousness. But then actually in the experience, are we conscious of anything until a thought comes in? Is the consciousness until a thought comes in?
Yeah, so there can be sight, there can be all other things happening without a thought. And
But
you
that's
can
all
see the chair without even knowing it's a chair, or thinking it's a chair, or knowing the name of it, or you see the color without without even knowing it's a color red. You see a kind of different shade, there's a good shade next to it. So there is something conscious of shapes and forms.
I think that it can go even further than that, and it can disappear.
And then there is no consciousness.
Yeah. I think it can disappear consciousness. But even that is me saying I think. Even this is me saying I think.
But some would say even when your consciousness disappears, that too is consciousness.
Yeah, some people say that. It all comes back down to the experience. And if we haven't got the idea of being conscious of something, then there's an absolute dissolving into the object, and there's no consciousness of it. There's just the object, not even a consciousness of it.
But is this you're saying that there's dissolving, no sense of self,
and no sense of consciousness either.
And no sense of consciousness either.
But I don't know about these things or these words. I don't know what people mean by them.
Is this what Ramesh is referring to as the unmanifest? That is the blackness of absence of everything. But it's also referring to Jesus calls this the fullness of life, because out of this absence the fullness comes. And it's unmanifest, manifest. But it is unknown, of course. But at the same time, it knows everything, because how could everything exist as it is? How could the universe be there? And
I don't know.
Don't you have the unmanifest?
it must be known.
Yeah. The unmanifest, and the unmanifest manifest consciousness. For the fun of it.
But consciousness seems to come and go.
Or I'll call it aliveness instead of consciousness.
Even alive.
Or the object disappears.
Lisa,
Yeah.
when I look at it, it seems that like objects, which most of the time seem so solid, that in a way I never can kind of make contact with. It's like, it's almost as if it is like air, like so light, so not solid. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like only an imagining of it.
Only what, sorry?
An imagining of it, and a thought, an image.
An imagination.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, no, usually I talk about objects as if they exist and are really solid.
Yeah.
But in my experience now, it's like I can never really make contact with it.
Because they don't really exist.
The experience itself is one experience of everything,
Yeah.
and that experience I cannot grasp.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
If we
it puzzles me.
But this is what you're left with, and we're left. The freedom is coming back to a question mark to everything. Everything, and it's happening, but maybe it's not happening. It's
But in a way,
dissolving.
I also have the feeling that I'm detached
Yeah.
from it.
When the person's there, it feels like it's detached, or when there's a witness there, it feels like it's detached. A position.
But whenever there is an object, there is consciousness.
So that's only in thought. That's only something you know.
Or whenever something is like in deep sleep, consciousness disappears. But whenever something is
in this deep
when
sleep
there's
there is
different
no
colors,
truth.
when there's
We're
different
mostly consciousness, but that's only something we've been taught.
Yes.
or there's an awareness, but whenever there is a different shade or an awareness of it, well, it's a way of
Just trying to
using
communicate,
words for
yeah.
it, but for me,
Yeah.
it's consciousness. Yes, and there must be consciousness to it.
Is insight a slightly better word to use? Because sometimes people, what they sometimes mean by consciousness is insight.
Yeah.
Is that a better word to use?
No, I think everyone uses just so many different words for consciousness. Yeah, some people are conscious of something, and then that's more of an insight. And then there's consciousness, which people use as everything. Everything is consciousness. Everything is appearing in consciousness. Or is consciousness.
But there's a danger, there's a contradiction, because if you just say something like that, you can be unconscious, because it just becomes a blanket term.
Yeah.
Lisa, maybe this is exactly where the aliveness comes from, the friction between consciousness and consciousness, and that tension between the two makes it sparkle and makes it alive, probably. Maybe it's like static electricity,
Like no consciousness and consciousness.
Yes, because there's some unconscious soup, and then all of a sudden there are sparkles that come out of it and then make it really alive, and then you can get really far out.
But shit will be shit.
And maybe because I was glad a couple of minutes ago you said maybe there's nothing happening. Yesterday you said you were certain of that. It looked like you were certain of this. Yesterday you said there's nothing happening really, and now you said maybe there's nothing happening, and it puzzled me because I asked myself, how can she be so sure? How can you be so sure of it when there's nothing happening? And I could not.
It depends on which way I use nothingness.
Some speakers make a distinction between consciousness and awareness. Like in deep sleep, you're unconscious, but there's awareness that you slept really well. Like there's something that has some sort of awareness of conscious, unconscious. Do you make that distinction?
I don't know.
It's an idle illness.
But then what is it that says in you that says this can't die, this can't be born? What is that? That I would like a little awareness thing.
Yeah.
Consciousness seems to come and go, I agree. But something is held in, I don't know, there's no word. It's held in something. Like something is aware that there's something that doesn't come and go, or doesn't die, isn't born. And Alan Watts points to the everythingness infers the nothingness. And so this infers something else. I don't know what you want to call it, but awareness, aliveness, I don't know.
But even to say, we all hear you say, I don't know, but there is some sound, some... or not?
But you also think there is sound in the dream. Or you remember sounds in the dream.
Depends when you dream.
Yeah.
For me, it's really not interesting in what he is talking. I'm better than you. No, I'm joking. No, it means when I feel a moment of relief, not like yesterday when I spoke to you, this search for so long and this blah blah blah. You told me I don't believe anything you say. And when I'm open, or when it's happening that I can hear that, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I don't have to believe my story because I was stuck in my story. And you say, in the end, you said to me, you in a polite way, you're full of shit. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. And this is not interesting to me. Funny. And she said to me, and that was also very helpful, she said to me, because I was very tough on myself, when these awful thoughts come to me, she said to me, like she's telling her daughter, just say, oh my God. This is not interesting. This is bullshit for me. Like, you know.
Yeah. But these are also just thoughts coming to us. Like, what is awareness?
Yeah, sure, but
we're just also exploring the truth or untruth of these thoughts.
Okay.
Which may not give you as much relief, but sometimes it gives me more relief.
Yeah, sure.
But then it becomes philosophy, which is really that end. Can't.
No,
Just a dictionary.
What we're talking about is not philosophy, it's looking at the nature of what we experience.
That's philosophy.
No, it's not the love for the knowing, it's the love for looking.
The love for the understanding, and the understanding is the mental, which is the part of the human conditioning that says, if I can understand it, if I can get it right, I can manipulate my experience, I can control it, and it will be a better experience for me. And I think that's the only place that
really
can go.
It's really impossible
It can
for
only
a
go
speaker
there.
to come into a room and say to everyone they don't know.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. You always have to go in with some form of a presentation or something. Because it's the chaos.
But that's the part. This is the part that comes down to is our conditioning to know, to get it. If we can get it, we can get it right. And then there'll be less suffering. So it's this urge that there's got to be a right answer or a right definition. The idea that there can be infinity of definitions that are right, wrong, and it has no importance, because all there is what's happening in this moment.
Yes.
So the idea to label it, saying my label is right and your label is wrong, we're back into war again.
Yeah.
It just seems to.
But even the war can be a trick. Like Vedanta is all about studying tons of stuff until you're tricked by until you stop or you're tricked by the guru and there's instant.
And then you give it up.
Awakening.
Yeah.
Well, not entirely, because there's still the ideas of Vedanta that are so important.
Right, yeah, I love it too. I love the ideas of Vedanta, but they don't obsess me anymore.
Yeah.
I find it.
Lisa, can you tell me more about the nature of experience?
Well, no thought. So nothing that we say, nothing we think about can ever talk about it. Ever. So anything that we say or we think that we are, or anything that we think we know about what's happening can't be true at all. So
And
there's
why
nothing.
not? Why can't it be true?
Because it's just words. The words come and go. There's nothing wrong with thinking, but it's just that they come and go. They're sounds.
And are they very limited?
Yeah, very limited. They're just sounds that come and go. So like we were speaking about yesterday, you can't know about awakening. There's nothing in which can be known. Yet there's what is, and then what is what is. Like, what is this?
And when you say this, then you're referring to what? Like
Consciousness.
No, I'm not referring to consciousness. Consciousness, I think, is like the senses that come and go. My interpretation of consciousness is like the senses which come and go.
It is the mind comes and goes, but not consciousness. Consciousness
Let's
always
use
is.
awareness.
Oh, yes.
But I'm not even
if
sure
you
what
could,
that means.
I believe. Even in sleep, the mind is not here, but consciousness is still here. In deep sleep.
But why do you need to hold on to that, Gerard? Why do you need consciousness? Why do you need that idea?
When we go out of sleep, we felt I was very well in deep sleep. So.
But why do you need the idea of consciousness?
Because you were speaking about consciousness. I believe there is always consciousness.
But why do you need that?
I don't need it. I think it is a good explanation.
But why do you need an explanation? There's no freedom in explanation.
Ah, voilà. Yes, okay.
Sorry, just a silly thing came up. And the point is that I cannot be explained or contained.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even in consciousness. How do we know consciousness?
By consciousness.
How, Gerard? By consciousness.
Self-consciousness. Consciousness knows itself.
How?
It's just another concept that we learned and we're holding on to, is the final one to hold on to.
But there is the knowing of what is.
Is there?
It's all evil.
Is there? How do you know that?
There's nothing until a thought comes to tell you what something is to know. There's nothing.
But who is aware of nothing?
Yeah, we can even destroy nothing. But hang on, we just have to have something else.
What's next on the list, then? That one off. What's next on the list? Well, I got that one done. Consciousness, awareness done.
Yes, thank you, Michaela. Yeah. Now I see that talking about the knowing, it only exists when you think about knowing. Yeah. I got that one.
This is so intimate. This is so intimate.
Yeah.
But this reminds me of that video you did of trying to enjoy the sunset and the non-dual guy is just spouting, this isn't happening, this doesn't, you know. And to me, I have the same reaction, like I just want to punch, you know, people sometimes. It's nothing, nothing's happening. I want to smack. What's that then? You know, it's like there's. Yes, I understand the whole concept, but then again, there's also, you know. So let's destroy the nothing. Yeah.
Well,
Lisa,
yes.
behind the nothing, there's another nothing. I can even explain this.
I know what you mean, actually. I just know what you mean.
Imagine if somebody was blind. He had an accident. He was 20 years old and he had an accident, and he's blind, and he doesn't see anything, so he's blind. Or somebody that has been born blind. Does he not see anything? He sees exactly the same thing, which I can see with my knee. That is what he sees. So it is not seeing nothing, it is not seeing. So behind the nothing there must be another nothing, containing that nothing. You know?
And that one's so poof. So you would have said anything else.
I can become blind and not seeing anything anymore, and that is not seeing.
Yeah.
But what I see with my knee, this is really not seeing.
Maybe small.
Yeah, you don't need the eyes to see with the knee.
Yeah.
No.
It's not true, I think.
You don't need
I have
eyes.
a friend who's blind too.
But in your dreams, you don't use your eyes, and you see exactly the same. In your dreams, you see exactly what you see, and you're not using it with your eyes.
Yes.
You see what you see.
You don't see with your eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But that is because you have seen with your eyes.
But a blind person never had the experience of sight.
When he dreams.
He would not see in his dreams. He would have not. You could say that the experience of sight has never existed.
Nobody's blind to you.
But there is nobody else. You're blind to who? Huh? Nobody else, huh?
It's chaos when you don't know something.
Really, isn't it? It's hilarious.
Probably it is the reason why silence is better. Words are, it is all play of words also.
Well, not silence is better. Blah, blah, blah is better.
No, through silence,
No.
maybe. Not
We did say
merely
different things.
stopping, making noise.
So what is?
I don't know.
Not you.
I don't know.
You can be as noisy as you like. Thank you.
I think it's funny here because it seems to me that all our lives we've been fed this kind of drug, which is knowledge,
Yeah.
and been taught that you need this drug all the time, like more and more.
Yeah.
And if you take it, you're a good person, and if you take a lot of it, you're even better. And we come here kind of like a drug recovery program, and you say, no, don't take it, don't take it. It's like, yeah, just a little bit. No, but if I take a little bit, I understand. No, you won't. And you're just trying to do that, just saying, no, don't try to take that drug more.
And I really realised that even in me explaining non-duality, it's giving a drug.
Yeah, for sure. Or it's, yeah, it might be.
But it's homeopathic, huh?
Homeopathic, that's so cute.
We know what drugs you like.
Prominent Ayurveda, yeah?
We really are lost. We really are lost. And then, who's lost, Lisa? Maybe we're not lost. Maybe we're just here. I don't know.
Lisa, but this cannot be something you discover right now, that you're lost in this mystery. If you go deeper, you have to know this. Somebody like you should know this a long time already. I can see this happening right here in front of my eyes, that you're discovering that you're lost if you go a little deeper. I mean, how is this possible that you're discovering this only now? Okay. Yes.
Dangerous.
Or maybe you're such a good actress and you take us on this wild ride where you know exactly in advance where we will end. It's probably not that. It's probably not that.
Just speaking's coming out.
Yeah. But that mystery you must have hit it hundreds of times, thousands of times. Probably.
Who would have?
Who would have? Yeah. Yeah. And since every
You're not interested in that little bit?
No.
When I say who would have, it's like, oh, okay.
It's interesting. It's sort of like you can really go back into. So there's this not knowing, and then there's chaos, and everyone's like kind of just reaching and grasping for something, and then it comes back to this wanting there to be someone to give the answer, and then the mind really creates this like really strong sense of identity, and it's sort of, it's like beautiful to see how this all just played out. Like this is exactly what we do all day.
Yeah, trying to make sense of this chaos.
Yeah, and then being like, fuck, I don't know. Person.
I believe that's the real problem. We want to be happy always.
Yeah.
That is all. To be always happy.
Yeah, but it's also that there is a sense that something is smelling bad. You know?
If you are happy, you are happy.
In between the happiness, thing is smelling bad.
You said that like there was really something smelling bad. You were like, and there's a sense that it's like smelling bad. I see shoes.
Here, in here. In the cocoa. Lisa,
yes.
Is it like there is just one experience and then in a moment of thinking you kind of create this sensation of separation? It is created in that moment and then when it stops it is...
I don't know.
So I have, if the thought comes to me, I'm thirsty and I'm going to get up and get a drink of water, I can still be in the state of non-separation. It's not thinking, oh, I'm Phyllis and I have to get up, and what if somebody takes my chair? Huh? Will Leon protect it with his life? You know, I don't have necessarily a thought that's functional, but will not necessarily bring about separation. A thought doesn't immediately mean the me reappearing.
No, but maybe some thoughts.
Some could, but not all. But you're saying a thought. All thoughts don't. Huh? A thought about the future or worry or any of that, that's a me thought. But a thought, I'm thirsty, I'm going to get some coffee. Or I have to go to the toilet. So it won't smell bad, huh?
Depends.
That's not the thought of separation. It's just a functional thought happening to nobody. Yes? Maybe?
I didn't follow. I was looking at Leon.
So what is it that keeps us in separation? Because I can understand what you said, whether it's a thought, or is it not the I energy though that causes that contraction and that is energetic?
We could go there. We could go there and we could talk about that, and I could repeat that whole story. But you know that that's a story too. We could do that. Like later on today, I'm sure we'll go back and we'll do that. But you know that that's a story too.
And when you say that it is a story, what do you mean by that? Because then
because it's words that go into time and things that we think we know. It's okay to have stories, but it is also a story too.
And to what extent do you think it is a story? Because if I relate it now and narrate it now, then it's a bit distorted because I will not recall it the way.
Just because it's words and imaginations that we're putting together to make sense of something. You don't know anything. But we can do that. I could go there and answer that if it's not happening at the moment, but that can happen. And it's not right or wrong, it's just that's the way the normally non-duality is talked about. But ultimately it's a story. The only thing that is this.
So when you say it's a story, you mean the I energy? Like
Everything, even the knowing of the I energy is me giving more concepts. The knowing of the I energy, the knowing of the contraction.
Okay.
How do you know all that?
Well, with the contraction, I have the feeling that I feel it, like that feeling of.
And so you feel it,
and
then how do you know it? There's a feeling of it, and then you think about it.
Well, I suppose I sense it. I mean, it's a contraction in the body. You mean with knowing whether then I use my mind and
think about it, yeah.
Telling me.
How do you know that there's a contraction or no contraction, or a you or not you, or that any of that stuff?
How do I know? Yeah. Because maybe there are moments when that contraction is not felt, and then.
So you know it in comparison. That's still in thought land. So it's always going to be a story.
Because when I compare, then.
And the fact that you think about it. And there's no truth, not even an ounce of truth in thought. The only reason I told you the whole lie about no self is to question that idea that says there is a self.
Okay. But then, what is there? Is that then now what
is
why
there
we are discussing this whole
what is there?
Awareness, consciousness?
I don't know. I don't know what we've done. But what is there, Winnie? What's left when you don't know about contraction and not contraction and me and no me? What's left?
Yeah, in a sense, this and
this is the most exciting bit. I've told all these lies like about non-duality. I've opposed everything that you think you know by telling lies, by telling opposites mostly. And they're not true either. So if they fall away, contraction, no contraction, me and no me, and all oneness and consciousness and energy and nothingness, and all that falls away, what's left? It's like it's so unbearably intimate. Mine's like Did I really look at her now? I'm inside her. Even me saying that bullshit, I'm inside her, is giving me you more bullshit. You're so cute, Gerard. Let's go to Gerard.
Question about animals.
Oh
We're all going to be meat eaters after this. Maybe? No.
And then it's amazing that talking can happen, that we can say about meat eaters and everyone has an associated meaning, but we got so fucking lost in our meaning. Got so lost in it. It's amazing that conversation can happen. that can be said, now we're all going to be meat eaters, and the appropriate imagination appears of what that means. Which means, we're so lost in it all.
Lisa, what I find out is the funny thing about the feeling of separation, it is only real in the moment I think about it.
Yeah.
So it's
But
completely...
the thinking, it's weird how it manifests, because the thinking becomes an energy. It's like it becomes positions, like a feeling of positions. It's like all there is this, which is boundless. Excuse all my lies, which is boundless. So there's boundless, and then it becomes positions. So every idea becomes a position. Energetically, it's weird. It goes just into that position. So you know when you're really angry and blaming someone, the position really solidly feels inside and here. But even very subtle ones of like consciousness or witness or just slightly I'm right about something. And then as these positions begin to fall, the position of the person is really scared of this, because even though this is going to be a big fat juicy lie that sounds very alluring, is you disappear into everything and then no things are left. What a big fat juicy lie that one is. Sounds good. Couple of body That's so cute, though.
It's funny when you're saying about consciousness, because it's also become like a religion. Like there's books on living a more conscious life.
Yeah. Yeah, so many different meanings to it. Living a more conscious life, being more conscious than everything is consciousness.
It's an ideal length.
Let's have a look, see what the English language actually says consciousness is. You'd have thought I'd have done this.
Next time I have to fill in a scale, I'm a nurse. If he's conscious, yes or no, I will have it real difficult to write yes or no.
Wow, this says a lot of words about consciousness. Okay, we're just going to go to the dictionary. Yeah, basically. Images for consciousness. Centre for Consciousness Studies. Quantum consciousness. Definition of, in psychological terms. Oh, well, I don't know what one we want.
Restrictive moral consciousness also.
Moral consciousness, yeah.
Restrictive, of course.
Lisa.
Well, I don't know which one to go for.
Lisa, try checking out the etymology of it.
Etymology, yeah.
I wouldn't know how to spell that. How do you spell
Etymology.
ETYMOLOGY.
Knowledge, knowledge, it's not knowledge, it's knowing,
Okay, so consciousness, knowing, privy to, from Latin conscious, knowing, aware, from consci, I don't know what that word is. Conscience, see conscience. Probably a local translation of Greek sidiousness, a word adapted from Latin poets and much mocked at first. Sense of active and awake.
It's come from poetry, huh?
Yeah. And mocked at first. Knowing, privy to.
Okay, I have a short one.
Yeah.
The state of being aware of and responsive to one's surroundings. Or a person's awareness or perception of something.
Yeah, that's.
That is why consciousness and awareness are almost.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes. Like the
That's
nothing
why
behind the
they
nothing,
choose
it's like
silence.
there's awareness, the consciousness.
So from the Latin it just means the one who accompanies the knowledge or who knows the knowledge, huh? Let's get us nowhere,
Yeah.
Maybe you should start mocking it again.
Yeah, right. The poets were right.
But why would you bother if there's consciousness or not?
Huh?
Yeah.
Why would you think about if there's consciousness, yes or no? It does not matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's, to me, it really does not matter. This is like playing tennis. He gives a ball, and at the end, nothing happens.
No, it doesn't matter. That's exactly it.
But some people like to play tennis.
Yeah, I guess.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, you said you could destroy nothingness. Let's do that one.
Oh yeah.
Put the shutter down.
Turn all the lights off.
You said you get to take it back, huh? You said you could destroy nothingness, you get to say, I take it back.
Well, there's not nothingness, look.
This is better than the candles on the nipples. Yeah.
We had a good laugh about the candles and the nipples, Nick. Do you know, I dreamt about you last night.
Really?
I can't remember the dream, but you were there quite a lot.
What was I doing?
I can't remember anything. I just remember the morning waking up and being like, oh, funny. Just you and me.
Aww.
No candles,
No
Howard.
candles.
No, that's sexual.
No candles.
We were just completely naked.
Wasn't sexual.
Sexual.
Hi, Ramon.
Well, that was an exciting conversation.
Yeah.
Exciting morning. So guys, it's not so hot today. Do you want a coffee break?
Lekker.
Everyone's like, yes, please.
Lekker, please.